Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Sluts.
Yeah.
Sluts.
Sluts.
I actually don't even have commentary for this. Hey guys, what's up? It's Snitchery. How you doing? I was just for vodka. Okay, hi, welcome to Talk with Snitch. You guys thought I was kidding? We're making that a thing. We're doing my makeup, just like my last talking video. Nothing messed with my prepubescent little brain quite as much as the show that we are going to be talking about today. I've wanted to talk about this show for a really long time, actually, because like I said, it really psychologically affected who I am as a person, and it's horrible. It is the worst kind of trash imaginable. I've seen every episode, and I'm excited to share it with you guys because even though it is this bad, you're gonna be shocked. It somehow has remained like pretty obscure. Haven't seen people talking about it or discussing it, and it was really difficult when I was doing this video to even find like full-length videos of this show because it comes from a now defunct channel. I can't wait. Today, we're gonna be talking about
Battle of the Boards.
Battle of the Boards was a reality show that ran for 3 seasons from 2007 to 2009. I remember watching the show on my TV on the Fox reality channel, which no longer exists. When I was in middle school, this channel was obviously owned by Fox, and it was near like Oxygen and HGTV and channels like that. And it ran the channel itself from 2005 to 2010, so very, very short-lived. I think that's the reason that you don't often hear about this show or any of the other absolute gems that Fox reality had to offer. Such titles as Seducing Cindy, which followed Cindy Margolis. I didn't know who that was before I watched the show, but I remember watching it as a little kid. Apparently at one point was the most downloaded woman on the internet as she searches for love. Solitary, which turns the concept of solitary confinement into a game show in an effort to win money. Sex Decoy, Love Strings, which honestly I didn't watch. I don't know what it's about, but what a name. So my point being, a lot of very like low budget reality TV, but it was also just fascinating. I probably watched this around the time I was like 11. I was the perfect age to be taken in by the salaciousness of Battle of the Bods, which is the show we're going to be talking about today. This was a British reality show hosted by Olivia Lee, and honestly guys, some of the clips, I can't believe this was allowed to air, even for only 2 years. 5 women come out in these sexy little robes. The episode I found, it was a full episode, listen to how she introduces them.
Ladies, hello. You look like a slutty box of crayons.
The host is a lot, and I think she's actually part of the magnetism of the show. The premise of the show is that these 5 women will rank parts of their body based on attractiveness, 1 through 5, based on what they think the 3 men are essentially trying to match the ratings, is what I'm trying to say. They're trying to rank themselves as they think the men will rate them. And it's not just overall attractiveness, though I do think they do that too. It's things like breasts, bum, they do like belly button. It's... We'll watch. Typically the men fall somewhere in the range of nice guy, white boy, fake feminist to Chad, with like a heavy lean towards the Chad. Exactly what you saw was the intro. There are no bells and whistles. We're getting straight into objectifying these women. All of the girls then introduce themselves one by one. They all have a little blurb. So the host, the first girl, is like, I've heard you've never had an embarrassing moment. You've never embarrassed yourself. And the girl standing there in her robe and her heels, and she's like,
It's in your life. No.
The host goes, wait until you see yourself on this show. She moves to the second girl. She's done. The first girl's been grilled. To the second woman, this blonde woman, the host goes, I've heard your special talent is speaking Russian. And the girl goes, yes. And the host goes, but you're Russian.
That's not the most unique talent I've ever come across, to be
That's
honest.
the main point.
So there's a twist. The host gives her a cheeky little look and she goes, was that the point? And listen to what this woman says.
Were you being ironic?
Maybe.
Oh, a girl with brains. That's a first. Put it there, girl.
A girl with brains. That's a first. I forgot I was even supposed to be doing my makeup. I'm so enraptured by this media. How was this on TV? How did I grow up watching this, okay? We haven't even gotten naked yet. In every episode, the men have like a specific category that they fit into. My hair is bugging me. I keep touching it. I'm gonna put it into a bun. They'll be like athletes or like nerds, or it really is that. It is that basic. And this episode that we're watching, the men are metrosexuals, which I think is like a pretty archaic term at this point. I don't hear many people saying it, but what it means is essentially like men who I think really care about their appearance, are like very well groomed. Someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. And the way the girls look at her after she says metrosexual, like I don't think they know what it means. These men are sat behind a two-way mirror. It's completely soundproof, so they can't hear what the girls are saying and the girls can't hear what the men are saying. So the show begins. The first ranking is actually very innocent. They're gonna rank themselves on face, and for each one that they get correct, they get $500 for the team. So for each round, they can win up to $2,500 for the entire team. They start ranking, and they're like, who looks the most metrosexual?
Who looks more metrosexual?
Who looks the most metrosexual? One of the girls goes, wait, what is a metrosexual? And they all just blink at each other. The host pipes in. The host stands there, by the way. They haven't dropped robe yet. And she's like, it's a straight man who has gay tendencies. It is offensive all around. And again, we still haven't gotten naked. They immediately start, and the girls all pick Jackie to be number one. And I don't know what makes these men metrosexual. The first thing you hear out of them is the guys being like, I like Jackie. She's got a naughty college girl side.
Jackie's got a cute side. She's a little naughty college girl side.
Straight from the realm of the Chad. I feel like I remember an episode where they had nerds and it was just like buff Chads with glasses. The reason why will become very apparent as we get deeper into this episode. There's a reason. However, what you need to know is they're like frat dudes. They're also douchebags. They have their pictures in these little like blocks that they can kind of rearrange back there in their little room. Literally take Jackie's picture and separate it and put the other girl and like toss them basically in the other direction. They're like, all right, we're done. Basically saying she's the only attractive one of the bunch. They're douchebags. They're douchebags, okay? There are a lot of very uncomfortable racial undertones in the show as well.
I know that lady. I got a pedicure from her at the mall probably. She did a good job on my nails.
I'm actually watching live as I'm recording with you guys. I only watched a little bit before starting the camera. But I remember when I was watching the show growing up, the women of color, and especially the black women, and especially the darker skinned black women, would consistently be rated the lowest. It really, I mean, you can disagree with the entire premise of the show. I certainly do. But even if you think that you should be or could be ranking these people and their body parts, even if you're that person, it was very clear that a lot of times these women were just ranked low because they were not white. These guys typically just gravitated towards the women who obviously fit into Eurocentric beauty standards. So if you find any of these clips on the internet, that's often something that you'll come across. And I even remember being a kid and finding it very actually very disheartening, which is so sad to say because the show is so stupid. It's such a dumb premise for the show, but I do think it speaks to the fact that this kind of media, especially for children, but even for adults, can be really, really harmful. It's not media we should be making. I feel very comfortable making that judgment call. And I think there's a reason it only existed for 2 years. But the fact that these women are all mean to each other is just even more detrimental to like anything ever. It's like, why does this exist? But they are mean to each other.
Yes, I should be second.
No, I don't think you're cute enough.
Her teeth
They're kind of like choppy. Like she should have had braces.
Talking with that scar on your eyebrow.
Like I said, this is something that's genuinely kind of hard to watch for me and probably some of you guys.
I think KK can always be on the fifth. Her hair is a little bit nappy, but we'll see. Maybe she got a little bit more to offer underneath that robe.
They end up getting 3 out of 5 correct with the faces. The 2 white girls are the 2 girls who end up with the 1 and 2 position. Like I said, who's surprised? And typically I have a really good eye for this. I can't tell how much of this is scripted. Like, it's very clear these women know they're on reality TV and they're putting it on. It has a very 2000s feel, but I also think they do get genuinely offended and hurt and upset by these rankings.
Okay, girls, bring those ravishing rumps center stage.
Yeah. That is not, oh my gosh, that's not.
It's the battle of the bums. They're about to rank each other's derrieres. This is when the show really becomes notoriously terrible, as if it hasn't been already. These men just start taking shots at these women. It's very clear who they're attracted to and who they're not attracted to. At one point, KK starts shaking her ass at the same time that these men are insulting it. And it's just like...
All right, she's scoring some points.
It's time for the last round. The ladies are hype about this one. They're going into this one on a high because they got not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 rankings as the host makes you brutally sit through in the ass round. So they are loving life. And not only that, but the last round is even more scandalous than the bikinis. They are going in with full lingerie. This is their big moment. They have a little backstage interview where they talk about how they're making money and who they think is going to be ranked the highest. And then they come strutting on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Woo. Sluts.
Yes.
Sluts.
Sluts.
At one point, the guys start talking about Katrina again, who granted does look a little bit like Paris Hilton. And one of the guys is like, she's got that Paris Hilton look going on. She's got slut on the face. I respect that.
You got a little Paris Hilton look. She's
really
got a
out.
slut on the face, and I respect that.
Yeah.
You only get 2 right in the last round. Pour one out. And it's, of course, the 2 white women who have been first and second the entire time. But then it's time for the grand finale, the grand switcheroo. The part of the show that makes everything you've seen up until this point totally okay and totally cool and totally equal, because we're about to rank the guys. That's right, at the end of every episode, the women go back into the soundproof room and they end up ranking the 3 men on their overall score. I think they get a little bit more money if they end up getting the ranking exactly correct on the 3 guys. They come strutting out in their little briefs, the metrosexuals. What's interesting, and I don't know if this is the case with every episode of this show, but certainly the case with this one, because they only get the money, this extra $2,500, if they rank the men in exactly the correct order. So they have to get 1, 2, and 3 all correct based on how the men will rank themselves in terms of attractiveness. So the women don't spend nearly as much time objectifying the men as the men do the women. Like, not only are there far more categories for the women, they're talking about individual body parts, but instead of talking about like the guys' asses, they do that a little bit, but mostly they're talking about their demeanor. They're talking about how they're standing, kind of like their swagger, how they're holding themselves.
I don't know, Toby.
Because Toby sounds kind of shy. I mean,
I would say Chris first. He's just overall confident.
It's much less about the men's bodies and their appearances and much more about their mannerisms. Spoiler alert, they get it wrong. Not much of a spoiler. We're just at that point in the episode. They get it totally wrong, and they go out in their robes and they all just kind of stand there awkwardly at the end. Nobody really knows what to do on stage. The host puts her arm around the Asian girl who came in last in the overall ranking and is like, "You got $1,000." And the girl just looks so dejected. It's clear that she did not expect to go on this show and be told that she's like unattractive, because who would expect to do that? Like, I don't think anybody would go on the show expecting to be in 5th. Why would you do that? And it's so clear that the $1,000 she's taking home is in no way a consolation for the emotional torment that will follow her for years after this experience. And that's how it ends. They plug the show, and that's an episode of Battle of the Bods in its entirety. Like I said, it's simple. There's not much to it except the visceral horror of the worst reality show that I'm sure you've ever seen. Don't even think that this show needs any kind of like really critical think piece on why it's terrible, and why a show that not only casually excuses and plays into and promotes racism, body shaming, slut shaming, homophobia. What am I literally missing? I think in that episode alone we like ticked off all the boxes, but also is so clearly and visibly damaging to the people on it, and genuinely damaging to me as a kid watching it growing up. I remember even like looking at myself. I was like, before I even went through puberty and watching this show and comparing my body to like the women in first and the women in last. And a lot of episodes, they'll rank different parts of their bodies. Sometimes it's butts, sometimes it's boobs, sometimes I always forget to do my makeup also. I never finished. What are you gonna do? Sometimes it's stomachs or legs, but it's always this offensive and bad. It's also just not entertaining. I think it's very clear, like I said, these women are putting it on for the camera. It's very fake. It's a very bare bones show. It's obviously extremely low budget in a way that is not charming or endearing. It's just bad trash media. And maybe that's why nobody ever talks about it, but it has plagued me for like a decade and some change now. So I had to bring you guys along for the absolutely terrible thrill ride. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a sparkle. Let me know what I should watch next. I would love to cover more of these reality shows, or really any kind of media in general. I don't care if it's a movie, a book, a show, anything like that. I love watching stuff like this, especially when it comes from corners of the internet that aren't often talked about. Leave a like if you're liking Shit Talk with Snitch, or let me know anything else you want me to talk about. It doesn't have to be a piece of media. It can be like a current topic. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for being my friend today and always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah. Bye guys.